Welcome to the Belly Dance Stories podcast, a multimedia production directed by Alexandra Molina and Valerie Molinari.
You will hear inspiring conversations and learn about the ways belly dance has become a powerful channel of transformation in people's lives. Welcome back to the Belly Dance Stories podcast. You're about to listen to part 2 of our interview with the amazing Esmeralda Colabone. If you haven't yet listened to part 1, we highly recommend that you do, as this is the continued conversation from part 1. Thank you and enjoy. I'd like to fast forward a little bit to, okay, you finished your work in the Arab countries. You come back home, right? You come back to Brazil. And when did you feel that it was enough working there and that you wanted to come back home, that you felt the tides begin to change for you? Was there a special moment for you that you were like, I'm ready. Let's move to the next chapter?
Oh, that's a story. Really? Can I go?
Yeah. If you'd like, yeah.
Okay. So, I was in a very beautiful moment of my career, right? I was one of the top 5 ballet dancers in the Middle East. I was having a blast. One day, I came to the restaurant when I was performing, and I heard my manager talking to the restaurant management, preparing the schedule, the list of the dancers and singers that my manager would provide to the restaurant after Ramadan, right? For those who doesn't know, Ramadan is a holiday, 30 days holiday. And during Ramadan, we don't perform, okay? So it was our vacation time. So after Ramadan, you have the schedule of all the artists that is going to be performing there. And I heard the following dialogue. My manager goes, come on, take this artist one more time, come on, the management. But we already work with her so many times. She's been here, 50 times, 100 times, My manager, yes, but just one more time. She really needs it. She's good. She was one of the best. She knows the work.
And they were talking about you?
No. But I heard that, and I was like, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to get to a point where my manager have to beg a restaurant to give me work. Right? And I just want to say, I don't want to bring names, but I just want to say that this artist that they were talking about is an amazing artist. And she was not old. She was not over. It's just the entertainment industry goes like this. Everything is very fast. So one day you're up and the other day you're down. I mean, you expire very fast. It's like a football player. Your expire date will come. So she still is fantastic. It was just that she was around for a while already. And they wanted to change. They want new things. And from that moment, I was like, I don't want ever to be, I don't ever want to hear my name on that conversation. So hold on to that. I don't know, a few days later, I was watching TV and I saw a sport critic talking about Agassi. You know Agassi, the tennis player?
Tennis player,
yeah. And I heard the following. So the problem is that Agassi didn't know when to stop. For somehow my brain connect these two situations, right? I don't want ever to hear my name on that conversation. So in order for that not to happen, I need to know when to stop. When do you stop? Right? When do you stop? And then I start thinking, okay, important contest. From 2012 to 2014, I was already working a bit in Brazil. Like the community in Brazil already knew who I am, and I was starting, to get some opportunities in my own country. So I was working almost half and half, like 6 months out, 6 months in. You know what I mean? So, okay, I was still going strong in Arabic countries. People like my work. I was respected, but the industry was changing. The entertainment was not the same anymore. And the new generation start coming with 3 asayas, with wings and poi and fun veils and fire and all of that things that I didn't know how to do. And I get to this funny part where when I arrived to a contract, and of course, I mean, at some point, I was just coming back to my houses, you know what I mean? Because I already been working there and I'm just coming back again. And I used to joke like, okay, team, let's go over important points. Number 1, I'm old style. I'm from the old generation. I do 1 can, 1 veil, silk 1, no wings. I don't have points. Sorry, no neon lights here. And yeah, can we do that? Can we do old style for the next 30, 60 days? And they used to, just laugh and go like, yeah, Esme, let's go. Yeah, let's do old style. So I got to that point. And that was when I was like, I think this is it. So I did a beautiful contract in Ras Al Khaimah, 2012. And then I took some time out, 6 months out, 2013. And then I work in Tunisia. And from Tunisia, I went to Oman. It was the last 2 countries that I worked, Tunisia and Oman. And when I was in Oman, it was already 2014. And it was beautiful. Beautiful. I loved it. And then I went to Brazil. I had festivals there. And Omar called me. So are you ready to come back New Year's Eve? And I was like, yeah, sure. New Year's Eve. I'm back on New Year's Eve. Okay, so 2014 to 2015, we can book you New Year's Eve. Yes, absolutely. I was like, I don't know. Some things happen in Brazil, new opportunities. Omar, hold on. I think I'm going to stay more. I'm going to spend New Year's Eve with my family. Maybe it's better, like from March on, you can book me. Right? And then a series of things start happening professionally, personal, you know what I mean? And somehow, I never came back. One situation after the other, one contract here, one festival there. Oh my God, people are getting to know me. We entered 2015. It was raining a lot outside one day. I was in my friend's studio. Wow, I cannot walk to the metro station with this rain. Well, let's enjoy the time we have. And Enta Omri video comes out from there. And I upload it at 10 p.m. When I wake up 10 a.m., I was viral in the internet. And this is another plot twist of my life. And I never came back. It took me 9 years to go back. Like I already said, 2021, I came back to Arabic countries. And I want to close this narrative by saying that I was at the restaurant watching Carmen Fragoso's show. And I saw this man looking at me, myope eyes. Mm-hmm. I was with a black dress, my turban, red one. And he came like he was approaching. And I was like, maybe he knows me. I don't know. I was not recognizing. 9 years later. Excuse me. Are you? Oh my God, it's you. Esmeralda, it's you. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess it's me. And he was like, do you remember me? I used to be the waiter in Mawal when you were dancing. Esmeralda, you're back. You came back to us. Why you laughed? You were one of the best dancers that we had. It took me 9 years to hear that on that moment. And then he called the manager. And he was like, I told you it's her. I told you it's her. And then the manager came and he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't welcome you the way you deserve. I didn't recognize you. I was a waiter too. Now I'm a manager. Oh my God, we missed you so much. And then we hug. And then I actually recognized them. It took me a while. I didn't know what was going on. I was a little surprised because I didn't expect them to recognize me. And they just hold my hand and they were like, we remember your shows. We remember the way you used to dance and communicate with people and the way you were so nice with us. So it took me 9 years to realize that, yeah, I did the right move. I did the right move. I laughed when I was here, and that's how they remember me. And that's exactly what I wanted. So I was very happy. That made me really happy.
I have a question. When you were saying that you started noticing how the entertainment business was changing, like dancers were coming with all these props, why you didn't want to change?
Because it was not my strong points. Like I was never a prop girl. I was not good at it. And I remember, like, I was always aware that I was good in communicating. I was good in making people feel good and happy and welcome. And I was there already for, like, when I started realizing this huge change, I was there already for 8 years. So I was like, okay, I had my time. I'm here for 8 years and I'm successful. I got a lot of opportunities. 95% of the amazing hotels and restaurants that we had, I've been there. I danced on that stage. I had my part. It's changing. So maybe it's time for me to start thinking about my next move instead of just trying to fit in something that I'm not good at. Plus, that's that situation, I had it on my mind. Do I want my name there? Because, okay, maybe I can learn all the props, but will that secure my place on the industry? Or people will go like, yeah, okay, she knows how to do the fire and the fun veil and the sword and this and that. But, she already danced here 5 times. Yeah. So
you knew your strengths and
Yeah.
you went with that and you developed your strengths and you continued to. Right. Well, are we ready to go into love affair?
Yeah.
I know Esmeralda's stories are just dense and we could hear you talk all day. And that's what I want one day, just to hear all of your stories. But I think we are ready to finally get to the belly dance story of love affair and the silver tour. But before I get there, what is your belly dance story, Valerique and Esmeralda? How did you two meet? What is your origin story? Where did this begin?
Well, the first time I saw Esmeralda, this is the first time I'm saying this to her, it's going to be interesting, was through her Entamri video. So she posted this Entamri video, black and white, very beautiful, with a turban. At that time...
The one that went viral.
The one that went viral. Yeah, at that time, I was starting to do a couple of performances with Golden Era, and I had some type of turban situation in one of my costumes, right? And then that video went viral. And then I was like, this woman did it before me. Before I put my thing outside, I actually had a performance that I created that was like very classical golden era, and I had put like a piece of fabric like cross here, and I put my hair up. And I presented in the Alan Wasahalang, and everybody was like, oh, you did it like Esmeralda. And I'm like, oh, this woman with this viral video kind of like set the trend first. I forgot about this actually. And that's how I knew about her. And I saw the video, and I remember feeling like, oh, it's beautiful, but she's not dancing. She's not. And then I continue like stalking her. And then I saw another video of you. I think it's in an event in the Netherlands with the yellow costume. And then I went kind of like from jealousy to girl crush. And I'm like, oh, I really like her. Like, I started stalking her, and I'm like, this girl is refreshing. She's something different. I went and looked into her bio, and I'm like, well, she has all this experience performing in the Arab world, but none of this was online at the time. I just saw a couple of her videos, and I continue kind of like stalking her because in my labor as production, I have always been very interested in like getting new, fresh things that are happening, new artists. And then I think I reached out to you, right? And like I sent you a message. I would like to bring you to Miami. And oh my God, I would love to go. I'm going to go back into my Facebook and to my messages to see when was the first time I reached out to you. And then I sent her a message. I want to bring you to Miami. And then we started the conversation that you didn't have the visa, right? And that's how it actually evolved. I want to mention, she's the first artist I invited that I didn't have the opportunity to meet in real life.
Okay.
And that was a big deal for me because like I didn't want to work with somebody that I didn't knew. And somehow like her work seems like it speaks a lot about her. Like all the pieces were very well prepared. Like I could see her dance performances, and like costume was on point. Everything looked like it was very well thought. And we continued the conversation, and that's how I took that big risk of like bringing her for the first time to the US.
I love that. Never judge a book by its cover situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to add, so that's how we started communicating. So the first time that I ever talked to Valerik was through the messages when she reached out. Like,
On
I
Facebook,
want to,
yeah.
I want to bring you to the United States. Have you ever been here? And I was like, no. And she knew. And she was like, I'm going to make it happen. Let's make magic. And I said that on the show, by the way. Let's make magic. Let's bring you to the U.S. And at first I was like, oh my God, this woman have faith in me. Like, she's ready to buy a fight, you know? But I just want to add to this narrative that the first time that I saw her live, so I went out from the exit at the airport, right? Super nervous with my artist visa, that it was a roller coaster to get it, and even the moment that I was like entering the country, you know, Priscilla, our amazing lawyer, she advised me. She was always very truth with us, like very honest. So she was like, you have the case approved, you have the visa, but up to the moment you enter, like the moment you get to the immigration, like something can happen. So be aware. We're good to go. You have your lawyer. I'm here with you, but be aware. So she was outside walking from one side to the other with the phone on her hands, wearing this dress. And I was inside sweating, super, super nervous. So, Miss Colabone, welcome to the United States. I took my bag and I started walking towards the exit. And this beautiful lady was there with her dress and her flip-flops and her glasses. And I was like, hi, I'm Esmeralda. And she was like, oh my God, we made it. And we hug each other. I will never forget that moment because we never saw each other before. But we hugged in a way.
Yeah, it was the most special hug ever.
Yeah.
When we did that first visa, our case was approved. But 2019, Jesus, we got the case approved. You were traveling. So once you got the case approved, you need to have the stamp from the consulate. We had the event, I believe, in March, right? Mm-hmm. She came from Japan or something. So she had to go to the consulate to do the interview. And hopefully that day will give her the stamp of the visa. So it could happen two things. She will go to the consulate, get the interview. The consulate stays with the passport for 2 weeks, and then they send her the passport through mail. So there was still all this process that we didn't knew how the consulate was going to work. She got that stamp a week before the event. Do you understand the panic attack that we had?
The first event, right? The 2019?
The 2019. She got that stamp finally in the passport a week, 7 days before the event. I even remember she was finally going to the embassy, and we had this chat with Priscilla. And she's like, okay, guys, I'm finally going to the embassy. I'm coming right now. And I'm the entire day like this, shaking and shaking and shaking. Registration is flying. We had 80 registrations on 2019. Flying. I'm seeing all those numbers and I'm like, oh my God, she needs to get this stamp because our concern was that she was going to go to the consulate and if they send that passport 2 weeks after, we were screwed,
It's just important to mention that even though the case was approved, the moment that I go to the interview, it's on me. Like Priscilla's work and Valeric's work doesn't count. If in the moment of the interview, the person, the officer responsible, if he feels that I don't deserve the visa, it doesn't matter if the case is approved. So that moment, and you have to go into the interview without phone, without anything. Mm-hmm. So imagine, I send them a message. I'm getting in. I'm going for it. You have to put your phone in a locker, and you go in. So I was on me. It's on me to get that visa or not. So it took me hours to send them a message.
So we're here like waiting. And then she finally sent this message that I will never forget because I was about to kill her when she did this to me. Do you remember? She's like, ladies, I just came out with this voice. I just came out from the interview and I got the visa! I got the stamp! And I remember I was driving. I had to pull over, and I just cry my eyeballs out. And I'm like, oh, we did it. At the time, I was going also through a separation with my partner at the time. Like I was going through I just came out of a relationship of 11 years. So I was going through a lot in my life. And that was like, wow, something good is happening.
And now it is 5 years later, after the first time, you have Love Affair, your rebranding of your event, and Esmeralda has her Silver Tour. And I want to know a little more about the Silver Tour and how this became a collaboration with the Love Affair event.
So the Silver Tour is a celebration of my 25 years of belly dance, Arabic dance. And it's a silver tour for two reasons. First, because, I don't know if, I believe that is everywhere. Like in Brazil, when you are 25 years of marriage, it's the decimos bodas de plata.
We have it here.
Yeah, right? So dance is the longest relationship of my life, the most successful relationship of my life. So I was like, why not celebrate our bodas, 25 years? And during the pandemic, I decided to finally not painting my hair anymore, just have my silver hair out, which was a very, very important step in my personal life. So it's my silver tour for two reasons, for the 25 years and for this new image that I really wanted to bring it out, right? A lot of statements in there together. And once the silver tour was out, Valerique reached out and she was like, love affair and silver tour,
Perfect.
perfection. We have to make it. And I have to say that I was just like, oh my God, here we go again.
Yeah.
PTSD.
I asked her,
Yeah.
I asked her, are you sure we're going to go through everything again? And I remember we had a meeting of almost 3 hours on Zoom because I started the tour in a huge professional crisis. And it was perfect because I was already in crisis when I planned the tour. So the crisis is part of the tour.
What's the crisis?
So the crisis is I reach it really, like I'm gonna say the way I like the way I talked to you on the on the house yesterday,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So I reach it to a point where I feel as a Brazilian belly dancer, right? So I'm not Arabic, so let's take that in consideration. I feel that I've done it all. I've done it all. Arab countries, festivals, haflas. I had my school. I've done it all. So now, after all the ups and downs, throughout all my victories and how do you say derrotas?
Derrotas,
Defeats?
failures, yeah.
Failures.
Yes.
Turban in, turban out. Who am I and what I'm going to do? What do you do once you have done everything? What do you do? So that was my crisis. Plus, I reached a static that it's ignored for many of us, right? So I start looking for references and inspiration, and I start realizing, and I hope, I mean, I'm talking with my heart, and you know who I am. Please don't take me wrong. I was like, okay, I need help. I need inspiration. I need references. Who am I going for that has my career, that has been to all the countries that I've been, you know, not only Arabs, but non-Arab countries as well, who has been as global and, you know, had been a storm the way I got blessed to be. Okay, what's the next step? Who is the artist that is going to show me what's the next step? I didn't find it. Okay, it's not that I didn't find it. I did. But they were not in the spotlight. And then I realized, with your age and your looks, it's reality, lovers. It's reality. With my age, my looks, my body limits, Who's my reference? So that's when I start planning the tour. I'm going to be this reference. I know it doesn't sound it's not that humble, but okay. So I'm 41, and I've come from a family that taught me how important, what a privilege it is to get old. I don't feel old. I don't consider 41 old. Sometimes people get this in a wrong way when I say it, right? I don't feel old. I don't think that 41 is old, but I am aging. We all are. And I don't want to be Peter Pan. I don't want belly dance Peter Pan. I don't want to be part of the Peter Pan syndrome. You know what I mean? We have in Brazil, she passed away, unfortunately. Love her. Brazilian singer, Rita Lee. Rita Lee, she once said, there are two ways that a woman can age. Battling time or controlling time. How do you want to age? Do you want to battling time, go for procedures and crazy ways in order to just freeze yourself in a certain age? Or do you want to be friends with it and control it and have it as your aliado?
Mm-hmm. Your ally.
Mm-hmm. Your ally, yes. And in the middle of this crisis, I was like, I don't want to battle time. I am such a fan of these women that I see active in the industry. I am a fan, but I see what they are doing to stay in there. Am I crazy enough to go against all the trends? Am I crazy enough to do that? What do I have to lose? So let's go. And that's what I did. I said, I'm going to take time as my ally. And I want to say, we're aging. I'm aging and I'm loving it. Look at my hair. Look where I got. I'm still here. Can I, with these looks and with this age, can I deliver as good, as powerful as I delivered 10 years ago, 15 years ago?
And also asking yourself, what can I still do? What purpose do I still have? Which is very important for a human being to have and to keep.
That.
And I also want to mention that for us dancers and performers, we know that our performing days have an expiration time. And I feel I am coaching a couple of older dancers right now that are still active in gigging. People that are in their 50s and they're still gigging. But I know that after 35, I feel your body start showing signs of aging. And I think because the type of art form that we do that depends so much on our beauty, we are not prepared for that. And then suddenly it just comes that one day you start seeing all the wrinkles and the freaking neck. Nobody prepared me for the freaking neck.
I feel like we're not prepared because we don't see it. It's still too much taboo.
It's too much
and
taboo.
That's too sad.
And then suddenly one day you see yourself in the mirror and then you're like, oh my God, I'm aging. And there's a new set of insecurities that we need to kind of like make our allies now. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Make our allies. I will have to say that one of the things that I am more grateful about the dance community is that I do see a lot of women aging gracefully. Like, I'm a huge fan of Aziza in Montreal, Saint Aziza, because I have seen her growing old, keeping like that freaking elegance that she has. still performing in such an elegant way. And of course, her dancing has changed, but it's just become even better because now she has a different type of confidence. I know that Jelena has been also mentioning more about this. And at some point, Jelena in the pandemic, she decided that she was gonna stop performing. And then she shared something that she's like, you know what? I still got it. Like, I still can perform, you know, like. So yeah, aging, it can be something a little bit difficult for us dancers, especially for women.
Embracing the journey with
For women, because it's not the same to age for male dancers than it is for women. I don't feel we don't judge them the same.
Okay, someone just put a tape on my mouth right now. Stop me.
embracing the journey with strength and vulnerability.
Yes.
Yeah, is what
Yes.
our strength is as women.
I would love to, okay, I want to propose for our listeners and audience. Ask yourself if you're battling time, if you are this person that is battling time. Are you doing for yourself because you want to feel more beautiful, more confident? Or are you doing for somebody else, for someone else? Because I'm not saying there is something wrong in going for what makes you feel better. But I'm just saying, am I doing for my own sake or am I doing for the sake of pleasure? And whose pleasure? Mm-hmm. I think this says a lot about, and this is also another thing that I think we have to normalize, belly dance and gender. Like, there is a lot of man please factor that we still deal with when it comes to belly dance industry, right? So this is sexy, this is not sexy. For who? This is sexy, this is not sexy for who? And when exactly sexy became more important than quality, technique, interpretation, expression, musicality? What is my job? Who am I? Am I a dancer? Or am I a sexy level on a doll in someone's menu? So I think this is very important. At some point, we are going for decisions and we are taking steps towards something. Why? I've been asking women all over the world, you know, like, do you feel happy? Do you feel confident? When someone comes to me after my shows or my classes, oh my God, you're beautiful. I love the way you talk. I feel so represented. And this and that and that. Okay, so for these people, for these amazing women, they feel represented. They look at me and they feel beauty. I'm cool with that. So if I get that all over, okay, maybe they're just being nice. I got that. We're just being respectful with Esmeralda. But I mean, so if you are surrounded, okay, let's bring it to a very small proportion. If you're surrounded by 100 women, okay, and this 100 women are telling you how fantastic you are, and if you don't feel the need of changing anything, why would you do it? It's because of the gigs? Oh, but the industry. Oh, you know, but I don't know what people will say. I don't know how people will feel. I don't know if people, who is this people? C'est qui les gens? This is especially for my dear friend Florence, the amazing dancer. And we were talking about this when I was with her in Tunisia, and we got to C'est qui les gens? C'est qui les gens? Who are these people? We are doing for who? We need to start asking ourselves that, because if we're all feeling so happy about it, if we are getting this type of feedbacks, so what is driving us?
Well questioned. Do you both have any reflections that you might want to share with the listeners after this weekend's love affair and one stop of the Silver Tour?
Well, I was very lucky and very blessed and very happy and very honored that we did had a couple of more mature women coming to class to train with Esmeralda. I love to see these women dancing and still interested in learning from a younger generation. And I aspire to be like them. I aspire to be like one of the greatest that we have here in Miami, Jihan Jamal, that she's still very inspired to learn and to come to class and like to keep cheering for new generations to come. And in the case of this event, we had this fabulous group of ladies coming from Texas that I know have been, teaching dance for a long time. And the fact that they came to learn from her and to come to the event, for me, it was a very empowering experience. And now that we're talking about aging, I do feel that that's one of the greatest things that we have in probably the dance community that we have created. It's like, I remember last time I take classes with Madame Rakia. She's still teaching nowadays in the Alan was in her 70s, 75 or something, like still teaching a 3-hour workshop. A 3-hour workshop. She's still one of my favorite teachers ever. I remember going Alan Wasahanan and seeing Lucy of Cairo, almost in her 70s, doing a 1-hour workshop. And what a lecture that was. Because it was not crazy bananas. It was like the energy that she carried that you could tell it was her years of experience as a woman. And the way she just, gave that beautiful feminine energy out there. It was very beautiful. So now that we're talking about aging, a few years ago, I had that crisis of like, oh no, like I still my gigging career. I'm like, I'm going to start putting an expiration date to it. And I'm not going to do it. I'm going to continue. I think there's other ways in which we can continue dancing. We just have to move to different contexts. And if their contexts are not there, I'll freaking create them. So that's my reflection about the year now that we're celebrating also the Silver Tour of Esme and this beautiful journey about aging, which I think is freaking beautiful. That's my input. What do you think, Esme?
Wow, I think you said it. I think you said it all.
Mm-hmm.
I feel the privilege. I feel so blessed to be able to be here, to have amazing artists and amazing souls like Valerie believing in me. I feel that, like we have in the Silver Tour, we have the tributes. Allow me just to say this very quickly. We have the tributes because during these 25 years, sometimes I was in a good place and sometimes I was not in a good place, right? And we know how that goes. There's a lot of friends to eat with you in a sunny day, but not a lot of friends to walk with you in a rainy day, right? And Valerik was one of my tributes, one of the people that even when I was not believing in myself, she was. Because when she called me, let's do it again, I told her, I don't know if I can. What? I don't think so. Look, this is my situation today. And she said, no. You can. Sometimes you need people to believe in you in order to keep you going. And she was one of that people. And the tributes, the idea of the tributes came not only literally the tribute, like I want to honor this person that believed in me when I couldn't, but also a way of saving my career. Because at some point, where was the love? I don't know. I think I lost the love. I think I'm not in love anymore. I don't know if this relationship is going to last. I don't know. I think we all have been there. We all have been there. How many times we want to give up, right? Like this is no news for you guys. It's no news for you. So I indirectly asked to these few friends, help me save what I have. And the tributes are part of this help moment, you know? So Bella, how I call her, Bella, help me stay. Help me stay. How do you do? How do you do? Why do you love it so much? Explain to me, how do you love so much? And then she sent me the video and she was like, this is why I love it so much. This is me. I was like, okay, can I do that? Can I try? So the tributes is me trying to fit on my friends' shoes to see how they feel, how much it takes to love the way they love. And in the love affair, I did my tribute. It was my first time bringing my salsa. I had my salsa moment. And
it was so well done. It was so well done.
Just to mention that when she told me that she was going to do the belly salsa choreography, I was like, I'm going to call the Colombian dancers, the salsa dancers, so they can actually be with you on stage. And she's like, Valerik, I don't know how to salsa. I think that you're asking way too much from me. Because I was ready to make her go J-Lo in the Super Bowl.
I was like, hold on, let me see the video first.
Let me, Valerik, espérate. Like, I don't know how to salsa. No, but they'll do the salsa around you and like they'll pick you up and like it's gonna be fantastic. And then I was like, ya, cálmate, relax. Let her just do your choreo. But yeah, it was a very beautiful moment because I think it also set an example of like the importance about the producer and the dancer too, you know, like I felt that was a very generous, beautiful example for people to understand that, you know, as a producer, you have to do a lot of work. And you know that because we do Belgian stories, you know, it's a labor of love of putting a stage, a theater for a dancer to come and show off. And there's no way we can move forward this art form if we don't have those two important figures.
But that was also a more universal example of dance as a language that we speak together and unite together because of dance.
Yeah.
No matter what country or how long of a short of a time you've known each other.
Sure.
It's that more universal connection that we have.
Yeah, that's what keeps us
alive
and together, and like it's a beautiful way to stay connected through this journey that we call life.
That is amazing. It's so beautiful, this story. Do we have any last reflections or anything that you want to say before we close our podcast? It was very dense and wonderful.
Yeah. We had a wonderful weekend full of belly dance stories with Esmeralda Colabone that was so giving, and I feel that she really appreciates the effort that it took to bring her to the US. And like she thought like this is the last time that I'm gonna be here. You know, she really gave it all. Everything, like in a way that I don't think I ever remember experiencing something like that with an instructor. But that was very beautiful. This thing about when we talk about the teachers, also about, you know, just this is all I have. You guys, new generation, older generation, just take it. And it's such a beautiful also gesture of love for the dance to not keep it something that, you know, let me just keep this for myself and like just I'm gonna pour it out. This is all I know. This is all I know, you know, benefit from it. And for me, that was super beautiful. And it just goes back to the idea of love affair, you know, like just let's just love together.
Yeah. And I just want to say every dance counts. Every dance counts. Sometimes might be not the best one, the most perfect, but it might be so valuable to someone, you know? Maybe you perform and you're not satisfied with it, but hey, you just made it possible for someone to smile for the first time that day. Every dance counts, so keep living your life one dance at a time.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Esmeralda and Val. I
Thank
don't know what
you.
else to say, but thank you.
Thank you, Esme.
Thank you, guys. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me. Show me so much love and support. This is beautiful, and I just wish you guys more and more and more and more success. Thank you so much.
And you're the first international belly dance artist that we have here with us. So this is like a big, big, big win for us too. So thank you so much.
An honor. You know how much you inspire me. You know how proud I am, how much I believed in you and I trust you. You know that.
I know.
How much I trust my life. 5 years ago, and I did it again today. It's a pleasure meeting you, Alex. You're fantastic. Your energy, your artistry, I can feel it in your pores. So what you do, not only this, but everything that involves your work and your productions are a legacy. Are a legacy. So please keep doing, because we need this. Artists like me, like wow, what an amazing opportunity for me to share a little bit of who I am for more and more people. So thank you so much. This is so valuable. This is priceless. Keep on doing. We need it. It's a legacy. It's your legacy. And I'm so proud to be part of it.
Let's end with a big hug.
Every curve tells a tale.
Can we stand up and hug?
Yes.
Please. I know. I knew I was going to cry. We want to thank our sponsors, Orlando Belly Dance Convention, HGAB Studios, Maison de Mosaics, and The Peacemaker for this podcast between Love Affair and Belly Dance Stories.
And remember that September 23rd, we start our amazing performance development lab. And you can follow us at Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, so you can see more information about our podcast and all the amazing things we're bringing to you.